Y'all ask me why I support Gunna, right? This is my take on Gunna. I ain't seen nothing on Gunna. Gunna ain't never put ain't got no paperwork on Gunna. Gunna did some fuck shit, I feel, as far as he took his deal first. That was the only shit. But the nigga ain't told on nobody. Y'all fall into this other shit with these other niggas call everybody a rat. Niggas ain't got no paperwork. Rat on a nigga, you gotta have paperwork, man. When they caught a case and they did something. You know what I mean? That's my opinion on it. It clearly stated that nothing that Gunna said can be used on that man in court. You know what I mean? Nothing he said can be used on him in court. Where Gunna fucked up, Gunna should not, and I repeat, have let that bro record him and go on there and say anything other than what he needs to say for his case. But ain't nothing he used gonna be used on him in the court of law. Snitching is when you catch a case and you tell on the motherfucker. If anything, to me, it would help the case, because anybody who heard that, they can say that that's gonna tamper with the witness. Because it clearly said they can't use none of his statements in court. By her putting his statements out on the air, that clearly fucks up her case.
Wow. So, with hearing that, a lot of folks think Gunna is now a government worker. Reading this article, it says the accusation of snitchery, which arose after Gunna took a plea deal in Georgia's sprawling RICO case against Young Thug and YSL, walked out of jail, haven't hurt his career at all. Gunna was in Los Angeles this week, and he made sure to check in with local OG, Big U. Well, it was a bit more than that. Gunna was out west in part to support Big U's football team. It's not the first time Big U has vouched for Gunna. This summer, he posted the Atlanta rapper. What do you think Big U is getting out of the relationship? Read the article by Hip Hop Lately. But just to put my little 2 cents in, obviously this isn't a conversation for square niggas like myself to be having, but since it's out in the public, I guess I can put my 2 cents in. Personally, I met Big U, and coincidentally, I met Big U at Gunna's birthday party at the Highlight Room. And yeah, I gave him my salams because obviously Big U is Muslim. But yeah, I gave him my salams. He gave me his salams. And yeah, that was that. But getting back to this, I feel like, I think Big U brought up a good point in saying that in prison, there'll be some times where people will call one another snitch or rat out of pure animosity and spite, when in reality, the person doesn't have anything that has to do with a snitch or ratting on their record, but just to get that person out of the way. And he said people in his position have been in bad positions, being able, like, going with what they first heard rather than supporting their own. So his point of view is, I'd rather support my own until that paperwork comes out, until things are black and white, right? Clearly, you just said he didn't snitch, and the ramifications behind snitching and the specifications behind snitching doesn't really apply to this situation here. He did say it isn't completely justified, but it's not what we think it is as snitching, right? And then on top of that, the fact that Big U has Gunna coming to support the youth football team, it's not like he's bringing him to the hood for what we know and for what we see. He's bringing him to the youth football game to help support the youth and help motivate and inspire the youth. Again, that's pretty dope. That's a cool thing. I'm of the opinion that people are redeemable. Obviously, street people have different perspectives on how they look at this situation. But for me, I just feel like Gunna, I don't want to say much because obviously what I have to say regarding snitching, it doesn't really hold any merit. But I'm interested to see what happens as Young Thug and this trial continues to go on. Throughout the duration, there's been many changes. There's been many different things that can leave you wondering as to how it's actually going to play out. As you can see, I've seen some articles lately that said Fonnie Willis and her prosecuting team are struggling right now. So who knows how that might be. But just in terms of Big U, I think Big U is a remarkable person for his community, for the things that he's done and helped accomplish for that community. Is most likely why he's so revered and respected in his community. And on top of that, just being able to guide young men away from the street life, and him being a pillar in his community, and being able to tell the young guys like, yeah, man, join the hood, but turn this and shoot at the ops and shoot at the enemies and mess up your community. I don't really get that vibe from him. I get him. You see him coaching. You see that he has a son, Dion Henley, in which is a linebacker for the Los Angeles Rams that was drafted this year. That's big. Bringing a child that you've raised throughout the struggles of life and bringing him to the highest level of football professionally is something to commend. But the conversation is, how can he be with someone who turned their back on the culture, quote unquote, and still go about daily functions? From what I can tell, man, I think in terms of snitching, we gotta wait till Thug comes home, or Thug. We just gotta let this trial play out to see if it truly did affect young Thug. But yeah, I don't see nothing too much wrong with it. I really don't. I really don't. In terms of funds, I don't think Big U is extorting Gunna. The fact that he just had a son sign a rookie NFL contract. Big U has several lucrative business investments and business dealings. Again, he was an executive producer for the show on FX. So there's a lot of great things that he's doing on his own. I don't think he is extorting Gunna at all. I just believe that Big U does think that he didn't all the way go wrong, and he's going to ride with his own. Granted, Gunna is a Rolling 60s member from Atlanta, and this is all documented paper stuff. I'm not saying anything that's new. So he says he's going to ride with his own until things push him to look different or be different. So that's respectable, but what do y'all think?